Hi, I'm Beatrice Rabkin, and I'm going to be talking about healing through food, sourcing, growing and or shopping, cooking and eating. Many people are aware that a compromised immune system makes them more susceptible to disease, and to a degree this has been highlighted in this time of COVID. However, very little is being done to educate people on how to improve their immune function apart from taking a few supplements, which have been shown to support the immune system. Certain pre-existing diseases have been highlighted as making one more susceptible. These diseases, such as obesity and diabetes, are directly linked to the immune system and are all diseases of diet and lifestyle. The nutrient demands on our bodies are greater than they have ever been. We have more stress, some of us exercise much more, some of us move much less. We are exposed to more environmental toxins than we have ever been. All of this demands more from us nutritionally, and yet we eat more and more refined, highly processed, nutrient-depleted foods. All of these factors drain nutrients. A diverse, nutrient-dense diet supports optimal body biochemistry for us and our immune system. Increasing nutrient density and diversity enhances our immune system, and I'm hoping to inspire you to eat beautiful, colorful, deliciously flavorful food, which will do just that. There are plenty of lifestyle interventions, including connecting with nature, animals, and humans, important for immune resilience. But here we are talking about food. Let's start with a little bit of background on the immune system, where it is and what supports it. 70% of the immune system is located within the gastrointestinal tract, and the microbiome, our intestinal bowel flora or microorganisms, is a significant part of this system. Part of their job is to sense an invader and send warning signals to the white blood cells to send out the cavalry to fight this invader. An imbalanced microbiome will not have the capacity to do this. At its best, our microbiome, with an impressive microbiome diversity, is like a well-functioning city, weighing in at over 2 kilograms, over 2,000 different species and phyla. Different organisms have different tasks, but everyone works together, breaking down food for nourishment and defending the city from marauding invaders. In the body, these are pathogenic microorganisms that have the potential to multiply out of control and to cause disease. Our modern lifestyle, bad diets, and environmental toxins, including both recreational and prescription drugs, systematically destroy this critical balance of our immune system, increasing susceptibility to invaders and disease. To support a diverse microbiome, we need a richly diverse whole food diet, diverse in color, variety, and fiber. We are looking for 40 to 50 different whole foods every week. Nutrient density has depleted significantly since industrialization, and even more so in the past 50 years. This is due to modern agricultural methods, processing and refining, and delayed consumption from picking to eating. There has been much debate over nutrient concentrations of organic versus conventionally grown foods. However, most of the studies are extremely limited. There is very little money in this, but this is what we know. We know that the levels of phytonutrients, the unsung heroes of our food system, which include antioxidants, have drastically reduced in plants. Plant food is much blander than it used to be. It is bred for sweetness and size and not nutrient density. Human palates are no longer accustomed to the nutrient-enhancing, stronger and bitter flavors. An example of a phytonutrient is the polyphenol salvestrol, which in plants is a natural antifungal. In humans, salvestrol has the potential to destroy cancer cells. These polyphenols have been depleted due to the use of fungicides in farming. Plants no longer have the need to fend for themselves. Resveratrol, found in red wine, is possibly a polyphenol more familiar to you. Another factor that has contributed to changes in nutrient levels is global warming. This refers to both organic and conventionally grown foods. Increased carbohydrate in the atmosphere changes photosynthesis such that plants produce more carbohydrates relative to proteins. Carbon-enriched plants grow bigger, contain proportionally less protein, and less nutrients such as zinc and magnesium. This imbalance has also contributed to the livelihood of bees being threatened. Besides nutrient depletions, herbicides and pesticides, preservatives and additives, all found in our food chain, destroy the microorganisms in our gastrointestinal tract. These deplete our microbial diversity and compromise our immune system. This is also true of antibiotics, both prescription and that which is found in the food chain. Recent studies show that herbicides and pesticides have also changed the microbiome of our foods. Freshly harvested, organically managed apples have been shown to harbor a significantly more diverse and distinct bacterial community compared to conventional ones. The microbiome of conventionally grown apples may contain an overgrowth of potentially harmful microorganisms. Variety and balance of these organisms limits overgrowth of any one of these species, which is potentially pathogenic. Studies report a negative correlation between human pathogen susceptibility and microbiome diversity of fresh produce. So where to from here? Let's start with shopping. Sadly, for many people, sourcing food from a supermarket has become the norm. A high proportion of food found within supermarkets is highly processed and/or refined, containing preservatives, colorants, sweeteners, and a variety of additives, many of which are synthetically produced. Buying whole, unprocessed foods avoids the stress of reading labels to avoid harmful chemicals, and even the stress of going into a supermarket where making choices from the myriad of food products can be overwhelming. One is also exposed to atmospheric chemicals in these kind of public spaces. Although most foods originate from whole foods, those found in a supermarket are more often grown with fertilizers, pesticides, and herbicides, and might also be genetically modified. Many people do not know that the reason for genetic modification is often to create a plant resistant to chemical sprays. This allows the farmer to spray as much as they like without apparently harming the plant. Thus, GMO foods serve up even greater quantities of chemicals. So where to shop? Your location, available time, and budget will, of course, be a major factor in this decision. Growing your own or buying as close to source as possible should be a primary goal. Creating a trusting relationship with your supplier is the most reliable source, is the most reliable way of being sure of the provenance of your food. Buy real whole foods from people you know and trust. Having a friendly relationship with your supplier can help make shopping a much happier experience than the bland, chemically loaded experience of shopping in a supermarket with an unknown food chain. I suggest shopping at markets, farmers markets, or various small organic stores as much as possible. There are also several individuals and co-ops who deliver organic produce. In Cape Town, this includes Abalimi Bezakaya, Harvest of Hope, and the Spring Foundation at Lentegeur, and of course, Oranje City Farm. I know there are others. Do your research. For those who can afford it and have the space, there are also individuals and organizations who will create a vegetable garden for you. Growing your own food has far-reaching benefits. Going beyond eating, it is also about the time spent outdoors with hands in the soil, probiotics, and the life-giving and incredibly rewarding relationship between you, your plants, seasons, and cycles. When shopping, look for foods that are seasonal, also unfamiliar to you. This will increase your nutrient base. Find a way of eating foods you have never eaten before. And I'm talking about whole foods. From growing, shopping, we move on to processing, preparing, or cooking food. When preparing food, we need to take into consideration diversity, and that, regardless of source, our food is potentially nutrient depleted. To counteract this, we need to find ways of increasing nutrient density. Foods like curries, stews, soups, and broths, containing plenty of vegetables, spices, and herbs, should be on the priority list. Pestos made with a wide variety of greens and herbs is another top contender. I especially like to use greens from my garden at this time of the year when the rains have encouraged the growth of many wild greens. Avoid refined and processed foods, white foods, requiring more nutrients to digest than they give you. They will deplete your nutrient reserves. They will not make you lose weight. Look out for a variety of flavorings, and I mean natural, herbs and spices, herb and spice infused oils, vinegars and butters, infused with turmeric, cumin, oregano, cardamom, cinnamon, garlic, onions, etc., etc. Salt can also be found in a variety of different options. Your own homemade salt, herb salts, desert salt, sea salt, Himalayan, and black Indian salt. Pepper, pink, black, white, Szechuan. Fermenting foods makes them more bioavailable. This means more available nutrients. Sprouting and fermenting legumes and grains increases their digestibility and allows your body to get more nutrient value. Grains in general are hard on the digestive system. They do not give you nearly as much nutrient value as you would get out of a vegetable, which are also much easier to digest. Herbal teas and infusions are an easy way of piling in the nutrients, and I don't mean a tea bag containing rooibos or green tea. I mean an array of herbs or spices in the teapot. A delicious chai tea may have 6 or 7 different herbs and spices and has a satisfying, full-bodied flavor, satisfying your taste buds, your cells, and your microorganisms. Many people think that a recipe that uses 3 or 4 ingredients is great, easy to cook, but it is not nutritious. Recipes containing 15 to 20 different ingredients, this is what we're looking for. Using a broth as a base for most things you cook is a good starting point. Preparing optimally healthy meals is time consuming. There's no doubt about that. Having a good knife and good knife skills is a bonus. This makes preparing vegetables a whole lot easier. I suggest putting aside an afternoon or morning when you can do some bulk cooking, fermenting, and pesto making. Make a curry, a broth, or soup. Marinate, roast, or pickle some vegetables for storing. These can be used when you are not up for cooking or added to any meal to enhance nutrients. In my kitchen, I almost always have a pesto or a blend of salad greens and herbs, some fermented seasonal foods, fermented beetroot juice, quick pickle of vegetables, which include carrots, radishes, turnips, and beetroot, simmered in cider vinegar and spices or herbs, and possibly some marinated mushrooms. And now a little bit about eating. The process of eating is very energy consuming. Important, yes, but if you are going to eat a slice of white bread and jam, you are definitely going to use more nutrients digesting that than you are getting out. And this puts you into nutrient deficient state, puts your body into stress, and contributes to a disease state. Snacking is by its very nature mindless eating. Mindful eating, creating eating and coffee drinking rituals, sitting down without distractions, TVs and phones switched off, allows your body's energies and resources to focus on digestion and assimilation, and enhances nutrient intake. Eating a lovingly made, nutrient-diverse meal in a mindful state will allow you and your microorganisms to get the most out of eating. I hope this has given you a window into what your body really needs to protect you from disease and increase your immune resilience. Please take a look at our website, www.hormonalharmony.co.za, or follow us on Instagram for more information and tips.